Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the second continuation of Genesis. I appreciate anyone that decides to log on and read with me today. Last time we finished right where Noah comes in, and that's where we will continue from. We're going to be doing it from Genesis chapter 6, 11, 6:11. Or wait, 6:10, sorry. Alrighty, and here we go. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh, all flesh has come before me, before the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side, and you shall make it with lower second and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh, in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, and keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And you shall take them for yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did, according to all that God commanded him, so he did. Then the Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, and you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you seven each of every clean animal, a male and his female. 2 of each animals are unclean, a male and female. Also 7 of each birds of the air, male and female, and to keep the species alive for the face of the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth, 40 days, 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him to do. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters were on the earth. So Noah, with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives, went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, of everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark, Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that all foundations of the great deep were all broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark. That's fire. And then they and every beast after its kind, all the cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth and its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went to the ark of to what? Hold on. Blah. They went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2 of all flesh, which is the breath of life. So those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Now the flood was on earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all high hills under the whole heavens were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle, beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, and all that was on dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the earth, which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing and bird in the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. And the waters prevailed on earth 152 days. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth and made the waters subsided. The waters of the deep and the windows of heaven were also stopped, and the rain from the heavens was restrained. And the waters are seated continually from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the waters decreased. Then the ark rested in the 7th month, the 7th day of the month, on Mount Ararat. And the waters decreased continuously until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So it came to pass at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened a window of the ark which he had made. Then he had sent out a raven which kept going to and fro until the waters had dried up from the earth. He also sent out from himself a dove to see if waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of her foot, and she returned to the ark to him. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth, so he put out his hand and took her, and drew her into the ark himself. And he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. Then the dove came back to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. So he waited out yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him anymore. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, that waters were dried up from the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 22nd day of the month, the earth was dried. All right, that's pretty cool. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, "Go out of the ark, and you and your sons, you and your wife, and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and cattle, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may abound on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." So Noah went out, and his sons and his wives and his sons' wives with him, every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth. according to their families, went out on the earth. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and took out every clean animal and every clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled the soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and hot, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. So God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply to fill the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, and all that move on the earth, and all the fish of the sea. They have given into your hand. Every morning that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herbs. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. Surely for you, lifeblood, I will demand a reckoning. From the hand of every beast I will require it, and from the hand of man, from the hand of every man's brother, I will require the life of a man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he has made man, and as is for you, be fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundability in the earth, abundantly in the earth, and multiply in it. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and as for me, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, and all that go out of the ark, every beast of the earth. Thus I establish my covenant with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood. Never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, this is the sign of my covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for a sign of covenant between me and the earth. It shall be when I bring a cloud over the earth that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. The waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. The rainbow shall be in the cloud. And I will look on it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. Now the sons of Noah went out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and thus the earth was populated. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. Then he drank wine and was drunk and became uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both of their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. And he said, blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, so all days of Noah were 950 years. And then he died. Now, this is the genealogy of his sons, of Noah's sons. This is about, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Rippeth, Togar, Ma. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarnish, Kittim, Donaman. From these coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families and their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabbath, Ramah, Sabbatank, and the sons of Ramah were Sheba, and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. At the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, Canaan, in the land of Shinar. From the land he went to Assyria and built Nevineh, Rehoboth, Ir, Kala, and Rezin between Nineveh and Kala, that is the principal city. Mizraim begot Ludim, Anim, Lambim, and Nathiram, Patharizim, and Caslium, from whom came the Philistines, and Caphtorim. Canaan begot Sedom, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jespute, the Amorite, and the Girgashite, the Havite and Archite, and the Sinite, the Avrilite, the Zemanite, and the Hamathite. Afterward, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed, and the border of Canaanites was from Sidon as you go towards Gerar, as far as Gaza. Then you go towards Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, and Zebulun, as far as Lasha. There were the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their languages, in the lands and in their nations. And the children were born also to Shem, the father of all children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Aphrodite, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Guther, and Mash. Aphrodite begot Salah begot Eber. And Eber, were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, and for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan begot Alomad, Shelepth, Hams, Hazmaveth, and Jerah. Hadaram, Uzal, and Diklah, Obal, Abanim, Sheba, Ophir, Havaliah, and Jobab. All of these were the sons of Joktan. And the dwelling place from Misha, as you go towards Sephar, the mountain of the east. These were the sons of Shem according to their families, according to their language, and their lands according to their nations. These were the families of the sons of Noah according to their generations and in their nations. From these nations were divided on the earth after the flood. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and they found a plain in the land Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They had bricks for the stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves. Let us be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons and men had built. And the Lord said, "Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language. This is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down and let us come down there, confuse their language, and they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord sacrificed them abroad from over the face of the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore, its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of the earth. This is the genealogy of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Axfrid 2 years after the flood. After he begot Axfrid, Shem lived 500 years and begot sons and daughters. Axfrid lived 35 years and begot Salah. And after he begot Salah, Axfrid lived 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Salah lived 35 years and begot Eber. And after he begot Eber, Salah lived 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and he begot sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and begot Peleg. Sorry, whoa, that's weird. And begot Peleg. After he begot Peleg, Eber lived for 130 years and begot some sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and begot Ru. After he begot Ru, Peleg lived 209 years and begot sons and daughters. Ru lived 32 years and begot Surug. After Surug, Ru lived 207 years and begot sons and daughters. Surug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. After he begot Nahor, Surug lived 200 years and begot sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years and begot Terah. After he begot Terah, Nahor lived 119 years and begot sons and daughters. Now Terah lived 17 years and begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. This is the genealogy of Terah. Terah begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran begot a lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in his native land, and Ur of the Chaldeans. Okay. Then Abraham and Nahor took wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarai. And the name of Nahor's wife was Malika. I'm butchering these names. I'm so sorry. The daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, was the father of Ishka. But Sarai was barren, and she had no child. And Terah took his son Abraham and his grandsons Lot, the son of Haran, and his daughters-in-law Sarai, and his sons Abraham and his sons Abraham's wife, and they went out with them from Ur of Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan, and they came to Haran and dwelt there. So the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Now the Lord said to Abraham, "Get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will bless you, a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abraham departed as the Lord has spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. When Abraham took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and their possessions that they had gathered, and the people from whom they had acquired in Haran, and they departed to go to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abraham passed through the land to the place of Shechem, as far as the terebinth tree of Moher. I don't know. And the Canaanites were then in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abraham and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." And he built an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. And he moved from there to the mountain east of Bethel, and he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. So Abraham journeyed, going on still towards the south. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down to Egypt to dwell there, for the famine was severe in the land. And it came to pass, when he was close entering Egypt, that he said to Sarai his wife, "Indeed, I know that you are a woman of beautiful courtenance. Therefore, it will happen when the Egyptians see you that they will say, 'This is your wife,' and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say you are my sister, that it may be well with me for your sake, and that I may live because of you." So it was, when Abraham came into Egypt, that the Egyptians saw the woman, and she was very beautiful. The princess of the Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to the Pharaoh's house. He treated Abraham well for her sake. He had the sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai and Abraham's wife. And the Pharaoh called Abraham and said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? What did you say? What did you say? She is my sister. I might have taken her as my wife. Now, therefore, here is your wife. Take her and go your way. So Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him. Yeah. And they sent him away, and his wife and all that he had. Then Abraham went up from Egypt, he and his wife, and all he had, and Lot with him, to the south. Abraham was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journey from the south as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at first, and there Abraham called the name of the Lord. Lot also, who went with Abraham, had flocks and herds of tents. Now the land was not able to support them, and they might dwell together, for their possessions were so great that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdsmen of Abraham's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites that dwelt in the land. So Abraham said to Lot, please let there be no strife between me and you, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, I will go to the right, and if you go to the right, I will go to the left. And Lot lifted his eyes and saw the plain of Jordan, and it was well watered everywhere. Before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt as you go towards Zoar. Then Lot chose for himself as the plain of Jordan. The Lot journeyed east, and they separated from each other. Abraham dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities in the plain and pitched his tent, even as far as Sodom. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot had separated from him, lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which you see I give to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants also could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land through the length and the width, for I give to you. Then Abraham moved his tent and went and dwelt by the terebinth trees of the Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar there to the Lord. And it came to pass in the days of Amthriel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chariotmar, I'm really messed that one up. Chedar Aromalar, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations. Then they made a war with Bera, king of Sodom, Berisha, king of Gomorrah, Shinap, king of Adamah, Shember, king of Zebulun, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar. All of these joined together in the valley of Siddim. This is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him came and attacked Rephaim in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and Zillim in Ham, the Emim in Shavith Kerithaim, and the Horites in which the mountain of Seir, as far as Al-Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they turned back and came to En Mishpat, this is Kadesh, and attacked all the country of Amalekites, and also Amorites who dwelt in Hazaron Tamar. The king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, the king of Zerubbabel, and the king of Bela went out and joined together in the battle in the valley of Siddim against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations, king of Shinar, and the Aroch, king of Elasar. 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some there, and the remainder fled to the mountains. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their provisions, and went their way. They also took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Then, who had escaped, came to Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the Tebeth trees of Mamre, and Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and they were allies with Abraham. Now, when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, and he armed his 318 trained servants who were born in his own house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. Then he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, as well as women and people. And the king of Sodom went out to him at the valley of Shevith, that is the king's valley, and his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer, and the kings of who were with him. The Malachite king of Salem brought out bread and wine, and he was the priest of God Most High. And he blessed them and said, Blessed be Abraham of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered at your enemies into your hand. And he gave him a tithe of all. Now the king of Sodom said to Abraham, Give me the persons and take the goods for yourself. But Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will take nothing, from a thread to a sandal strap. I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abraham rich, except only what the young men had eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Anther, Eshcol, and Mamre, went there. Let them take their portion. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abraham in a vision, saying, Do not be afraid, Abraham. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward. But Abraham said, Lord God, what will you give me, seeing as I go childless, and the heir of my house is Azir of Damascus? Then Abraham said, Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him and said, This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come from your own body shall be your heir. Then he brought him outside and said, Look now toward heaven and count the stars. If you are able to number them, he said, so shall your descendants be. And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for the righteousness. Then he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give you to this land and inherit it. And he said, Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it? So he said, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, and a turtle dove as a young pigeon. Then he brought all these to him, cut them in two down the middle, and placed each piece opposite of the other. And he did not cut the birds in two, but when the vultures came down on the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. Now the sun was going down. A deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and he behold, a horror, great darkness fell upon him. Then Abraham said, No, certainly your descendants will be strangers in the land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them 400 years. And also the nation of whom they serve I will judge. Afterward they shall come out with great possessions. Now as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace, and you shall be buried at a good old age. In the fourth generations they shall return here, for equity of Amorites is not yet complete. And it came to pass when the sun went down, and it was dark, and behold, there appeared to be a smoking oven and a burning torch that passed between those pieces. On the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, To your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river of Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Commodites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Gigashites, and Jubilites. Now Sarah and Sarai, Abraham's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maidservant whose name was Hagar. And we'll end right at 16 today, right at the first beginnings of it. We got pretty far. This is going to probably be the longest one to get through because Genesis is super long, but we're going to have to make a few parts on Genesis, but we'll get through it. We got probably, I'd say, somewhere around I'm gonna try and make it quick. I'll try and make it quick, but you can't rush these things. I'm also not a very good reader. I don't like to read, but it's not about what I like to do, And this is just for trying to help anyone who needs it. I appreciate anyone who decided to come join me today through the whole thing, even if it's for half of it, whatever. I appreciate everyone, and I have a really blessed week. I hope that everyone gets something done this week that they're proud of.